Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Angey Lee. I do a little series of videos of things, really deep topics that I need to talk about as a part of healing for me. I am in and have been through some pretty extensive therapy. So this is just part of that for me. So as you can tell from the title and from the trigger warning at the beginning, this is a very, very sensitive topic. And extremely sensitive for me. I have my own history with being suicidal myself. The first poem that I wrote as a suicide note, I was about 11 years old. I was going through a lot of emotions. I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and that poem was written after my first miscarriage. I was very young, though, and I didn't realize at the time, and even for many years later, I didn't realize that that's what I had experienced at that time. But after a lot of therapy, I've discovered that that was definitely a miscarriage, and that's why my emotions were so crazy after that. So that was my first poem, my first reaching out that I was myself. Didn't want to be in this world.
I am never seen. I have a suicidal dream. My heart is in tears, can't get rid of its fears. It is in need, and forever it will bleed, 'cause no one is here, no one is near. I am never seen. I have a suicidal dream. Tears stream down my face. There's no one to embrace, no one to hold, to keep me bold. So here I lie, wanting to die. I am never seen. I have a suicidal dream.
When I was about 13 years old, my best friend's dad committed suicide. Now, she was my best friend, so we spent every single weekend together, either at her house or at mine. Summers, we were always together. We were always together. Always together. Until he died. And she moved away. And I was left very lost and confused and alone, and I didn't understand. And I didn't get any help. I didn't get any help for my own abuse either. I spent many years through that time being suicidal myself. I had many attempts. None of them were successful. I didn't really know at the time what I was doing. And I haven't been suicidal for a very long time. And we'll get into that at the end of this video. The next suicide in my life, I was about 22 years old. And it was my friend Shane. I worked with Shane. He was such a fun guy. And the last time that we hung out together, we were driving in the car and singing at the top of our lungs, Reba McEntire, You Lie.
How long until you just can't go on, and the urge to break loose is just too strong. You should let go, that's what you want to do. Oh, but you don't know if it's the right thing to do.
Lie. And I had so much fun with that guy. He was so fun. He was gay, and he had a very long-term relationship. And that relationship was ending, and his heart was breaking. And he couldn't handle it. I talked to him the day that he died. We had made plans. We had made plans to hang out that weekend. So when I got a phone call later on from his number, needless to say, I was really shocked. Shocked to hear that he was gone. Oh. Sorry, this is a hard topic. The next suicide in my life was my Uncle Ken. He died in January of 2006. The last few years of his life, he got very crazy. He got into alcohol really heavily, and he lived quite a few hours from us, so we didn't see him very often, but he would call my mom and my auntie ranting and raving and telling them how horrible of sisters they were, and I don't know why he thought that. He died alone in his apartment, and nobody knew he was gone for quite a while. And he was already buried by the time we even found out that he was gone, because they didn't have enough information to find out his relatives. So we never went to a funeral or anything for him. We never had any kind of memorial or anything for him. Nothing. He doesn't even have a proper tombstone. Something my grandma always wanted to do, but she never quite had enough money. That's a long story. She should have, but long story. The next death was also in my family. It was my cousin Wesley. He changed his name to William. He did not get along with his father at all. He passed away July 25th, 2006. That was also really harsh because he had very much isolated himself, and again, nobody knew he was gone. And his dogs had to be put down afterwards. His father took it very hard, and so did his sister. He passed away on July 25th, 2006. His funeral was on August 4th, 2006. My Angey Lee brought my grandma up for the funeral. One month later, September 5th, 2006, she took her life. And now, looking back, she made comments at the funeral that at the time we didn't think anything of it. Comments like, people are okay after something like this. People carry on, they grieve, but they learn how to live, that they're okay. And we agreed, yeah, eventually, yeah. Eventually people are okay. We didn't know that she went home and started making arrangements. She started making arrangements the day she went home. She called us a couple days before. We knew she was having a hard time. We offered for her to come and stay with us, and she declined the offer. Then in 2014, my stepmom committed suicide. She had a hard time trying to stay away from an alcohol addiction. And I know what that's like, because I had an alcohol addiction too. She passed away in March of 2014. There was never a funeral for her, anything. My dad and her two boys went to where she was from on a boat to spread her ashes. And so the rest of us didn't get any kind of real closure. A year later, in March of 2015, I lost my friend Heather. She was the only friend that I had here, and I still don't have any friends here. Keep to myself a lot. Six weeks before she died, I told her about my past and what happened to me, and it was the first time I had ever spoken about it. She was the first person I ever told. We had both recently left abusive relationships, and I thought we were getting better together. Our kids grew up together. I met her. I met her when my son was 1.5 years old, and I was renting a day home. And she was one of the first people in the day home. And we kind of clicked and we became friends, and our kids grew up together right up until she was gone. And they ended up with their dad, and of course we lost touch. But what really bothers me is that I didn't pick up on the fact that less than a month before she was gone, we were talking about some of the stuff in my house, and some of it had belonged to my stepmom. And she commented about how people move on. And I said, yeah, in a way they do. But I don't think, if you haven't lost people to suicide, you don't understand what it's like. It's not like losing somebody to an illness. It's not like losing somebody to an accident. It's not like anything else. They chose that. And you feel a great amount of guilt and grief that you could have maybe done something to help them. And why didn't you? And why didn't you see it? And what could you have done? When in reality, sometimes there's nothing that you can do. Sometimes you're not the right person to help them. Sometimes it's way over your pay grade. Sometimes it's medication. And that's another thing with Heather, is that shortly before she died, she also started going a little bit crazy. She started talking about being a prophet, and that she was meant to help women because of everything that she's went through, and God had chosen her. And personally, I don't believe in the religious God, but she started talking to a priest a lot in the last months before she left, and I kept reaching out to her, but she just said she wasn't ready. This is a clip of the last Christmas that we spent together.
Hey, Jamie. I'm opening Angie's present. I'll get back up here just so that you can see it. If I can get through here. Did you take this? wait till you see your mom's present. It's so awesome. Okay, card first or present first? Card first. Usually it's a card. Where's my card? Oh, he's trying. Being good's no fun. Bring on the cold. Merry Christmas. This card's trying to give you. It's so awesome. It's a blessing to have you in my life. Thanks for always being you. Scarlet. Ooh, pretty.
The beaver deserves to die.
What?
Make the beaver dead.
It's pretty, eh? It reminded me of you. Can I see a picture of it? The camera. That's pretty, eh? Thank you. You're welcome.
And this is a clip of one of the last videos that she took.
Yeah, well, I don't really know what I'm doing with this camera, so. This is me. It's Heather. You can't see me, but you can hear me. This is for all my Facebook friends, and you're my real life friends anyways, so that's what I'm sharing. I've been sharing myself a lot lately with people, so I thought I'd get out of my shell and share this way too. I've had a really good Christmas, and people who know my story know the struggles that I've gone through in my life, just like anyone. But this is where I'm at today, and it's pretty cool. I feel really happy and at peace and excited, so I wanted to show you guys some of my Christmas presents I got. They're pretty cool. Okay. This is my hangout room. That's my bear. And so this is kind of hard for me sharing like this. But you guys all know me, so I'm the same with you guys in person than I am on my own. So I just wanted to share that I'm doing really good, and I'm really happy with my life, my kids, my friends. I'm really thankful.
With each person that I've lost to suicide, it's broke me a little bit more. I couldn't handle it. After Heather died, I broke. I lay here awake, staring at nothing, and all I can think of is you. Tossing and turning, the tears on my face. Now what am I supposed to do? The thoughts and memories are rushing, racing through my mind. I know that answers to my questions is something I'll never find. I'm so lost and broken. Why did you go away? I wish there was something that I could have done that would have made you stay. I could step out the door right now and walk 1,000 miles. It still won't change the fact that I'll never again see your smiles. You've left me here alone. I have no one now to turn to. How am I supposed to go on, living my life without you? On the other hand, her death saved me. After that, I got sober. I got completely away from my ex-husband. I went to therapy and started working on my health. I am a lot stronger than I was in 2015. Both mentally and physically. Even though I've had an accident that has set me back big time, I'm still stronger than I was then. But I've always had suicidal ideations. I don't anymore. I haven't for a long time. But I did get to a point where I understood how she could take her life, how she could leave her kids behind, her young kids that everybody else could see needed her, but in her mind, they would be better without her. She was burdening everybody. I know that feeling. I've been prepared for a long time. And having this way of an out for me has actually helped me. But I'm ready to give it up. I'm ready to give up this out that I've had stashed away for years. Because I'm stronger now. And I cannot break anybody the way that I've been broken by suicide. It's indescribable. It's really indescribable. And if you are suicidal, please reach out. Please reach out. And keep in mind that if you try, if you succeed, you will break everybody that loves you. And I guarantee you, even if you don't realize it, people love you. And if you think that you're a burden to them, you're not. They will help you. They just need you to tell them how. I miss you today, just as much as yesterday. They say it gets easier, but I am still mourning. Memories sneak in without any warning. Often they bring tears to my eyes. I've lost track of all of the cries. Learning to live so far apart. All that's left are the memories in my heart. I cherish them and hold them close, for to me, they are what mean the most. I still can't believe that you've gone away. I think of you each and every day. I miss you so very much, my friend, until the day we meet again.
Oh, you know exactly how to hurt me. Cut me just like a knife, hit me like lightning strikes. Oh, you got away with your words. Oh, you got a thing with what you say. You know exactly where to break me. You like to do it, it's a game. I know that you were cruel, but it's more than I can take. And I'm falling on my knees, and I'm breaking at the seams, 'cause I still want to believe. I really need to know if, I really need to know if you ever had a conscience. Did you ever really want this? 'Cause if you loved me, it wouldn't be like this.